Hi, James. Really nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us today from Knoxville, Tennessee. Is it Knoxville or Knoxville?
It is Knoxville.
For the locals, Knoxville?
Yeah, Knoxville. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure like I'm fitting into your life, to where you are. My accent.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I'm glad. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. You work as an account manager for an insurance adjustment firm. That is your occupation, but I know you have a passion for writing. What kind of things do you write?
I love to write pretty much anything. Of course, I like to reflect on my days and things that maybe could have gone a different way, trying to use a very positive outlook on things. I also love to write about sports. That's always been my passion. Once upon a time, I used to be the best sports writer in high school in the state of Tennessee. I actually got that award.
Wow.
Too. So that's something that I've always been proud of. And I went from the print side more to the broadcasting side to talk about that for a second. But the truth of the matter is I still love to write. I've been working on a novel, kind of a mystery / supernatural novel that I've been working on for about 16 years now. It's a
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm 3 times the writer I was back then. I started it in college. It was actually one of my professors told me, you should do something with it, and life happens and so forth. But I'd like to get it published someday, and I'm actually working on that's the backstory, and it actually sets up a 3-part story that's set in this time. So basically, it's something that I've had a lot of fun with. I've gotten some good feedback from friends that read and so forth, and it's kind of very passionate. But like I said, life happens, and it's hard to get it written.
It's not the truth. Have you written the end of this novel?
The 5-part that which is basically called the Chronicles of Victor Villarini is done, but now the next part, which is him older and so forth, I have an ending in mind. It has not been written. I've just started on that first story now, but the backstory of the 5 stories of his chronicles growing up are finished at this point. So.
Man, 16 years in the making. Wow,
yes,
blood, sweat, and tears.
Pretty much.
Tears.
Pretty much.
Wow. Okay, so let's dive in a little bit to what brought you to Profile and what your story is. You joined in April of 2020.
Yep.
And you have lost around 60 pounds in one calendar year. What was it that was sort of your tipping point to say, okay, I am going to do this, and I am going to join this program called Profile by Sanford?
Absolutely. Well, I've got to kind of go back just a little bit in about February of last year, by the way, before COVID actually happened.
Yep. So
what ended up happening was I was at a crossroads in my life. I really wasn't happy. I really had a lot of inner demons that I really was afraid to face. And a friend of mine basically told me, what's happened to you? Like what's really going on with you? And I kind of just really, it was hard for me to admit, but I had really let myself go. I mean, my weight battle had been going on for about, at this point, 15 years, something of that nature, up to that point. And I was nicknamed back in high school, the Italian Stallion, and just Mr. Fabulous, things like that. And they were like, get back to that again, get back to that. And it was hard because food was so good and food was my comfort, because I had been battling these demons for so long in depression that food was actually something out of a necessity at that time. And what ended up happening, throughout the course of those years, I mean, I've been insulted by close friends, family members that had made fun of my weight, and it was like it was hurtful. It really was hurtful at the time. But what happened was I used all of that as a motivation, and I went on the spiritual journey and faced my demons. And that was literally the beginning of March when I went on that trip, just basically somewhere along the lines, I had lost my way. So I faced it, I found my smile, and then a week later, the country shutting down, and there was a pandemic going on. And it's like, oh my gosh, there's not food on the shelves, restaurants are closed. At the exact same time, my girlfriend, Sandy, she's also a Profile member. Her boss had done incredible, lost about 100 pounds in a year or something of
Wow.
that nature. And she was the one that had basically had said, "Girl, what did you do to lose all this weight?" And her boss said, "Profile by Sanford." So Sandy had already had a meeting set up at the end of March, only it wasn't in person because of COVID. It was now going to be on a Zoom thing.
Yep.
And so we're both stuck at home, working from home, and she goes for her private Zoom meeting, and I'm listening through the walls. And it's difficult, but not impossible. I can do this diet. And it's a funny story. I didn't know if she could do it, and she's done a fantastic job. I mean, she's lost herself over 50 pounds, to be honest with you,
Wow.
as a team. And I'm kind of skipping ahead, but she thought of me as that I wasn't going to do it because maybe the cost was a little bit too much. But at this point, because of everything that I had gone through in February and March, and even the years before, I said, something has to click this time. Something has to work. I mean, I've done other diets like Weight Watchers, Advocare, things like that. And I'd lose, but it would always come back, and then like even more so. But something about Profile, I just liked the diet. And anyway, when I told Sandy, listen, have them call me. So they call me a week later. And I talked with Candace, who's my health coach, and I wanted to give a shout out to her because she's amazing and she's great at what she does. She interviewed me, and she basically, after the grueling process of the questions, said, "You sound ready. This looks like this is something for you." And the rest, as they say, is history. I joined on April 13th, and within a month, I went from 266 down to 228. And I wasn't even working out or anything. It was basically, we were at home. The little bit of food that was on the shelves at the grocery stores, we could meal prep, but most of it was me picking up the shakes and the bars and the Profile foods, and then doing whatever produce we found at the different supermarkets that were just to kind of build meals around that. So
Wow, what a time to start a major life-changing way of going about your days. A lot of people, when COVID started, that's when the pounds came on. And for you, it sounds like for you and Sandy, you were the opposite, which is fantastic. How helpful was it to have your girlfriend Sandy doing this with you, in terms of, there's probably not a big bag of Doritos on the shelf right now, because if you're both focused on this and you're both committed to sort of having a different way of eating, and you don't have that temptation around, you have the support, all of it had to have made a huge difference, the fact that she was doing it at the same time as you.
You said it best. It really was, and she's always been my rock, and she's been there for me these last few years. And may I say, she was also very supportive of me facing my demons and everything, because she knew me right in the middle of it. She never even knew me before all that, but she's always been there for me. And having her as a partner, it made it so much easier. It really did. In fact, when we had those cravings, it was like, we've put too much work into this. Like, we held each other accountable. We still hold each other accountable even a year after the fact, because she started April 6th. I started April 13th. And we've been on board with each other, and just, it's a lifestyle change. It really is a lifestyle change, but it was a wonderful lifestyle change. It basically saved my life, to be honest with you.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it did. It did. No, it did, because unfortunately I have a family history of the men in my side of the family have battled weight issues and had heart attacks. And I didn't want to be a statistic. I mean, I didn't want to be, pass away. And I wanted to kind of prove those family members wrong that had insulted me in the past and made fun of my weight. And that was what was the motivation to keep going. Like if like, for example, say, I got really stressed out at work, and in the business that I did, especially last year, we had 6 hurricanes, we had multiple storms that happened throughout the year. And it's like, you work long hours, and it's like, what drive-throughs open? And fast food used to be my thing. I can honestly say I have not had fast food since February of last year, by the way.
Wow.
Yes. And Burger King and Taco Bell, I probably was their best customer. So they lost a little bit because of me. I'm sorry, but you have plenty of other people that will eat the food, honestly. Yeah.
One of the things that you had written in your bio to just kind of help us learn about you was that you had educated yourself on healthy foods and learned how to control your appetite. What kinds of things did you learn, either whether they're little tricks or just like your body had to get there? How do you now control your appetite, and how did you educate yourself on the right kinds of foods to eat?
Absolutely. It was a combination of a lot of things. I like to research things myself, and then plus when you're stuck at home, again, I used the pandemic to my advantage. That I did research things on the internet because you couldn't go anywhere. You
Right.
really
Yep.
couldn't. And so that was my downtime to kind of research labels and foods. And then I had Candace, my health coach, that was always there helping me in terms of, well, what do you like? What? And I've even learned to like vegetables. I mean, I'll tell you this before, and they're kind of the starchy vegetables. I used to be green beans all day long, and now I can't even really stand them, to be honest with you. I'll trade that now for cauliflower. I always liked broccoli, but I've learned to love zucchini now, and I've really gotten my taste buds have adapted to more vegetables, and I love salads. I have a salad every day. I use a skinny girl dressing that tastes just as good, and you can use it as your flex foods as well. And so I've just educated myself and learned everything that came with the books too that were provided and the resources from Profile. I would write down everything I ate, and I would even I would weigh in once a week because that was what was required, but I would weigh myself daily just to see where I was at. And that way I kind of just checked off that food made me a little bit more bloated. This one, not so much. And it makes a difference. And that's how I incorporated that into my regimen of what I eat on a weekly basis.
So
Weekly now.
yeah, that's detailed. You're really listening to your body then. Really
Absolutely.
check those boxes.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And being Italian, I mean, I used to joke around that my basic like four food groups were like lasagna, linguine, spaghetti, and fettuccine. But the truth of the matter is that I don't even miss pasta. I really don't. I make now a veggie pasta and its substitute. I'll watch the calories and carbs like in a sauce, depending on what I use, and if I need that. But I was so dependent on that at the time. I don't even really need it anymore. It's not a big deal to me like it used to be. And that was part of the other thing, switching, making my own happiness and not depending on the food as a comfort. Some people, I've told this to Candace, my health coach, plenty of times. I said, some people have addictions to tobacco, to drugs, to alcohol. Everybody has their own demons that they face. Mine was food as a comfort, unfortunately. And it's hard. It's a really hard thing when you do depend on food to make you happy, but it's not really the all is that it is. I mean, it's there to nourish you. It's there because we have to eat it, but it's not like what you should revolve your whole day around. And that's where that mindset of mine changed completely. And yeah, I did get detail oriented to make sure that I had put so much into this. I wasn't going to go halfway. I mean, it wasn't even about the financial cost of it, to be honest with you. It was more about just making sure that I put you said it earlier about my story, blood, sweat, and tears, my heart and soul, everything, mind, body, and spirit into this, because I wasn't going to gain all the weight back. And some of my favorite non-scale victories was taking my size 48 pants and just putting them in a bag and saying somebody else can wear it. I don't need it anymore. I'm proud to say now that I'm a size 36, hoping to be a size 34, as I continue to progress.
Way to go, James.
So,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
fantastic. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the shirts that I used to wear, I mean, this is like a size 15 shirt right here compared to what I used to wear that was like an 18 or a 19. So I have transformed my body completely in 1 year, honestly. So.
How proud are you of yourself? And are you allowing yourself to be proud of yourself?
Yeah. No, I'm still my biggest hero. I have conversations with myself, meditating, and just always make sure that my mindset is good. My new love that I found was is working out too. I always have to kind of watch the amount of minutes I do, though, because I still am in a state of ketosis, and how I limit my carbs. But I don't overexert. I know what I can do. I read men's health magazines, and I know different workout styles that I can do. And I'm just getting myself into the best physical shape that I can be at 37 years old. I'm in better shape now than I was at 27, 10 years ago, honestly.
Are you back to Italian Stallion?
Oh yeah, I wear the shirts and everything at the gym. Absolutely. Sandy got those for me for Christmas and my birthday. So, yeah. Yeah, no, and my friend was so proud of me too, because the one that told me to really kind of get in on this, she's kind of battled her health, her weight issues throughout her life too, and she's a workout fiend. I mean, I bow down to her of how she does it, and she was the one that really told me find the stallion again, and I did find him again.
You did. That's got to be just a fantastic feeling.
Oh, it is. It's the best feeling. You know, what you talk about feelings. Back then, I used to wake up and I was hurting so bad. Like, I mean, just felt bad. Like, it's not even about your joints or, that comes as you get older, but it's just like I literally didn't feel good when you got up in the morning. And I don't know if it was maybe from what I ate the night before. It was internal, it was external. I just did not feel good when I woke up. I tried to get a new bed thinking the mattress would make a difference. It didn't make a difference. There was something deep inside that was really needing to be fixed. And I fixed it. I mean, I'm proud to say that I get up and I feel great every morning, and I'm just grateful and thank God every day I get a day, for this. Every day I get as blessed because I've lost friends over the years that, lost their lives to disease and everything, drug addiction. And it's just like, I want to use the gift that was given to me every day. I got more than they did. And not to mention everything that we've gone through with this horrible pandemic this year. Some of us aren't with us. A lot of people aren't with us anymore that were here a year ago. And I want to make live life to the fullest. That's the biggest takeaway from this, and enjoy the limited years we do have on this world.
Well, it sounds like you are doing exactly that right now. You are living life to its fullest. You sound happy. You sound healthy. You look healthy. Fantastic job, James. You're a real inspiration story.
Absolutely.
I mean, just think of what you've done over the last year. That's absolutely incredible. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. And that's the one thing that I want more than for anybody that's on this diet or even thinking about joining Profile more than anything. It can be done. And the thing is, it's just how bad you want it. You've got to find some intrinsic motivation. And, I remember, I'll tell you, there was a time in June that I wanted to quit. I mean, I'm being serious. It was a day I just wanted to quit. And Candace said to me, what was the main reason that you wanted to do this? Like, you had your reasons, but what was it? And it wasn't vanity. It was health. It was the health that was the most important. And I said that. And it's just like she just said what she needed. I got it out of my mind and I kept going and I ran the race. That's the thing. Races are all at a different pace. But the thing is, my advice to anybody that's on Profile or thinking about joining, run the race at your pace. Finish the race. That's what you have to do more than anything. Why give up? Why quit? You got to keep going.
Finish that race. Finish that novel, James.
I know.
Right? Check back.
We will. Absolutely. I've got to. That's
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you for being so willing to share a really private story, because I think it's really inspirational and you have helped people and you have inspired people. So I thank you for that.
You're most welcome. And thank you for having me to share that story.
James Freeman from Knoxville, Tennessee, our wonderful guest today on Profiles in Health and Wellness. Thanks for listening and watching, everyone.